You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife. Go home, Harry. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. A piece of information came my way. It may be nothing more than tittle-tattle and gossip. Nevertheless, it provides us with an opportunity to understand more about the way that the narcissist behaves, and also, in particular, in relation to Harry's wife. After all, this channel is, as you know, all about narcissism and psychopathy, utilizing explanations of the various facets and dynamics that occur with the narcissist combined with utilizing high-profile individuals to help you better understand what is actually occurring. The piece of information that came my way suggested that Harry and Harry's wife recently attended a party. Harry was deemed to be annoying, and he was sent home by Harry's wife. I leave it up to you to make your own determination as to whether you believe this happened or not. But the point is, if we assume that it did, what does this tell us? Well, first of all, it is further evidence that Harry is indeed in the sustained devaluation. We know that is the case for two reasons. One, having established that she is a narcissist, the pattern of events between narcissist and intimate partner primary source means that after anywhere between 6 to 18 months, it can be a little bit longer, the sustained devaluation occurs. Given the fact that these two have been together for over 6 years, means that they clearly will find themselves in the position whereby he is in the sustained devaluation. Secondly, we also know this because we've had numerous instances of where her behaviour has demonstrated that she is devaluing him in a sustained manner. Accordingly, telling him to go home is commensurate with the sustained devaluation. Why did she behave in this fashion? They're at a party. Why not have it that she just perhaps goes and talks to other people and leaves him be? Well, apparently it was predicated on him being annoying, which of course means that he might not have been doing anything wrong at all, save when viewed through the lens of her narcissism. Many people find themselves completely confused by the narcissist's behavior because the narcissist labels what they've done, accuses them of doing something which doesn't make any sense. It doesn't link to what the victim has actually done, or the reaction of the narcissist is entirely disproportionate to that of the victim's behavior. I often give an example of this when I'm speaking in consultation with people, where a male client of mine contacted me. We'd established that his wife was a middle-lesser narcissist. She was going away for the weekend, which meant that he had to finish work early on a Friday to come and look after his younger son. He had no problem in doing so. He enjoyed spending time with his children. His wife went off on her trip with her female friends. He then looked after his baby son. He then picked the other one up from school, and over the course of the weekend ensured the house was cleaned and tidied from top to bottom, and he did all of the laundry, putting it all away. Come Sunday, the children were playing as she returned. His friend had popped over for a few gentle beers on the Saturday night, and to avoid calling a taxi and obviously drink driving, he suggested that his friend stay in the guest room. He explained to me that when his wife returned, it was as if she was scanning the house, and after a short period of time she queried, "Why have you washed the towels?" My client said to me, "HG, what did she think that I'd been doing with those towels? Something despicable?" He then explained that his friend had stayed over. She remarked, "What, David stayed over? Are you gay?" Again he said to me, "But HG, I don't understand. She knows I'm not gay. Why would she say that?" I explained that the problem was that she could see that he could manage without her. which then made her feel weak, vulnerable, unimportant. Her narcissism rode to her defense, and as a middle lesser, her response might well have been one of ignited fury. But on this occasion it wasn't, but what it did mean is that she had to provoke him by making a comment about the towels and asking if he was gay, even though it actually made no sense whatsoever to him. In her world it did, and it provoked him and got a response, which is precisely what it was designed to do. The point being in providing you with this anecdote is to demonstrate that the victim can do something completely innocuous, but it can still be viewed as a threat to control, and the response of the narcissist may bear no resemblance to what is actually going on, because they see the world through a different lens. It might well be that Harry was perhaps just talking to somebody else, which, as you know, is not to be tolerated by the narcissist because the fuel is going somewhere else, not to the narcissist, and it in effect wounds. If Harry's wife looked across the room and saw that Harry was roaring with laughter as he was chatting to perhaps a pretty blonde, that will of course wounded her and required her to assert control over him. Thus she approaches him. "Harry, you need to go home. You're being annoying." Harry's bewildered. He knows he's not being annoying. All he was doing was enjoying a drink, slamming back some supersonics whilst talking to other people. He protests his innocence. "Stop it, Harry. You're making a scene. You're being annoying again. I'm sick and tired of this behaviour." He, interestingly, if the reportage is to be believed, departed, which shows that either he recognises it simply isn't worth arguing with his wife any longer, or that he was perhaps on the cusp of losing his rag himself and thought it was better to walk away. I doubt that he necessarily went, "Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, 3 bags full, ma'am," and departed readily, but rather he will have protested his innocence before leaving because he just realised that it isn't worth it any longer. The point is, whether this incident was true or not, there's a possibility that it could well be true, because this is the way that a narcissist would behave with the intimate partner primary source that's in devaluation. That she would deem whatever he was doing to be annoying because it threatened her sense of control, subconsciously, of course. If Harry's enjoying himself, then she is envious of his contentment. She must do something to spoil that, because it shows that he's not under control, because he can only enjoy himself with her. And when he's in the sustained devaluation, if he's enjoying himself with other people at the party, that poses a threat to control. If, of course, Harry's wife was totally engrossed in somebody else, she wouldn't be noticing what Harry was doing. But as soon as he comes up on the radar and she sees that he's chortling away with somebody else, enjoying a conversation with somebody, that presents a problem. And thus, in order to compel her to assert control over him, the narcissism tells her that his behaviour is annoying and she needs to tell him as such. She does so, and, quite likely, when he protests his innocence, explaining, "Look, I was just talking to them," or "We were just having a laugh, what's wrong with you?" that's challenge fuel, further threatening her sense for control, needing her to up the ante, and thus ordering him to go home. And thus he does, once again unhappy, admonished and dictated to by his handler. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.